Hello and welcome back to another video. This was my first time playing the Stanley Parable, which is a game that follows a man called Stanley where every action you take is narrated. As the story progresses, you get faced with choices that contradict those narrations, leading to many different paths and endings. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment and subscribe so you don't miss any future chaos. And let's jump right in and do the opposite of everything the narrator says. And I need to unmute the game sounds. There we go. Have you played Stanley Parable before? No. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. To be fair, that works fine, doesn't it? That's fine. Confirm. Please enter the current time. Oh, sorry. Oh, this is fucking my brain. This isn't 24 hour. Why is this not 24 hour? It's 2. Oh god, no, wrong way. 16. Oh god. Ah, shit. Wait, if I do this. Do I wait until it changes to 2:17? Maybe. It's got 20 seconds. Let's wait until it changes to 2:17. And then we'll confirm. Doesn't matter. It matters to me. Come on. Any second now. Alright, confirm. Accessibility settings can be accessed from the main menu. Thank you. Alright, you're playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Begin the game. Yes, please. The end is never what?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him
we're a
what
button
buttons to
pusher.
push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
He's just in a room in the abyss. Turn
And
game
then
audio
one day,
up.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company
I
had
want to be
this
slightly
happened,
louder than the game
this
so you can hear me.
complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, I'm under control. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's very smooth, the game. I don't know if that's my PC or if it's just very smooth.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I'm a button presser, alright? Of course I'm checking everything. Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. 1991, okay. I can't read that. 422, 424. Wait, no, that computer was just on. Wait, that's like who farted. Yellow.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Nothing happens until you get to the meeting room. I don't care. I'm doing everything. No! Someone spilled their coffee. I like how it makes the button press the noise when I'm clicking on coffee. Can I not go through here? There's stuff to see, stuff to do.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm great listening to instructions, guys.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
But what if I don't?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, caution, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Well, I'm not lying, I'm reading a sign, so. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion, will cause death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Well, okay, we're back at the beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm not going to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Okay, let's not jump
Perhaps
from
he
the
wanted to
platform
stop
this
by the
time.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, that looks creepy. That looks like the start of a horror film. We're going to the brightly lit way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Who
to
is
put
her?
your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Boxes! Oh, I don't want to go into the dark room. Ugh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to...
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? They want to commit their life to you.
That's just
I'm
rude.
trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What? I can't go in there.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
I've already died once, so... Good morning, employee 427. Press K on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
No. Do I have to press X? I don't want to press X.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Do you need to watch TV?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
He's just spent time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
H to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Oh.
Down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby.
Spoilers?
And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond
Ignore
hope
my
that
light
it would
flickering,
never
it's
end,
fine. I
that he
swear.
might
Hopefully.
always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Hi to tell your wife
But
you
there
love
is no
her.
answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
H.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this.
That
Stanley,
time's not correct.
The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just... How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
No, I don't want to question nothing. Okay, fine.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Oh, the end is never the end. Okay, well, let's follow the
All of
instructions
his
this time.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do we go the
When
right way
Stanley
to the
came
meeting
a set
room,
of
or
two
do we
open
go
doors,
the
he
detour
entered
to the
door on
meeting
his
room?
left.
Should we go the detour to the meeting room?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
No,
door
I've
on
not been
his
to the
left.
meeting room yet.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Okay, fine, I'll go right.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Mate, you've broken your script.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
I don't want to go down there. Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding?
Employee
It's all
fired.
rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track. Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
We're exploring every
Stanley
path.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Don't worry, I'm going to get your money's worth out of this game.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Huh?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
I
Stanley,
broke the game.
Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No!
Did you move the story somewhere?
I didn't touch anything.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Thank you.
It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
That goes the same way. And that goes around the corner. That goes around the corner. That goes there. We can't go through this one, so I kind of want to go this way. Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been
Ow.
on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Maybe.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm going to the meeting room. Well, this is now worse than
Okay,
before.
yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why
well-
don't we go back the other direction and see if we
Mate,
missed
the
anything?
door's shut. Oh. I see a door.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Mate, I'm stuck in
Stanley?
here.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this?
We restart?
You win!
Hey!
Congratulations!
I win!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Excuse you, I put in so
Some
much
people win
work.
fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right,
The
I've got a solution. This time, to
line!
make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
This is new.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
Okay.
Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is, in fact, a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this
Whee!
office,
I can't walk on the wall.
is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
Yeah, I didn't get
Bit
any of
weird
the
back
words you just
there.
said.
Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
This is actually insane. What is happening? Oh god. Corporate imbalances, financial records, consolidation reports, departmental accounts. Oh, I'm so confused.
Cut the music.
Hey,
Go back
pause.
and look at that fern.
There's nothing going on with that fern.
This fern.
Yes,
will be
I'm
very
sure it
important
is.
Later in the story, make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully.
Yeah.
What? We're back at the office? No. Line. You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story. Is any of this ringing a bell?
I saw nothing. I saw absolutely nothing. Uh-oh. Do I have to go in there? I think I have to go in there. Well.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it
No,
ever
I like
done
the
for us?
adventure
We're
line.
intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your
Mate, we're going in
imagination.
circles here.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Oh, why can't
No
the line
lines or
join
monitor
us?
rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
It's kind of hard not to acknowledge it, you know? Well, I can't exactly go up through the ceiling, so not much I can do with that.
Ah, a choice.
We get to make a
decision.
decision.
From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a
Find a
say in all of
bookstore,
this?
get bored
Is it
and
really-
leave.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Oh,
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So,
we're just
okay.
gonna stay here, are we?
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
Sit
Not
back and
quite
relax,
sure if
people.
in the
We're waiting,
destination
apparently.
or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
What was that? Oh no.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The
Yet
meeting
there was not a
room.
single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Tips for not
decided
getting
to go
fired
up to
talk
his
class.
boss's
Do
office,
unbelievably
hoping
amazing.
he might find an answer
Okay.
there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other co-workers. Resent co-workers for not supporting you more. It's like to assure employees that everything is okay. At the header and toast and bevel on all text. Oh jeez. Everyone is unique. You most of all. What is hot? Profit. Remember slides in this slide chart? Slides. By quarterly post review, we need something reviews. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Throw something in the ideas bin. I don't know what day it is. Meeting room. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Get Chris out the broom closet. Ongoing. Who moved my desk? Okay.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I'm good, thanks. I'll stay in here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still
Well,
be
I mean,
here.
it's not empty. What if I just stay here?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Very
As
true.
it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Yeah, what if I just want to stand in the broom closet?
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Why not?
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I like it in here. Whee!
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
My choice
If
is
I'd
to
said
stay in here.
Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
I'm just going to stay here.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Hey, that's just
He only got the
mean.
job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Hey!
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
This is just mean.
Well, I've come to a very different conclusion about what's going on right now.
I'm not leaving the closet.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Collapsed on the
In a
keyboard.
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place,
Instruct
making
another
sure
human
they
to take
understand
their
basic
place.
first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
What happens if I don't? What happens if I just stay here? Just leave already, but what happens if I stay? I mean, ads are running in a minute. I could just stay in here while ads run. How about I just walk off and come back in an hour? I don't want to leave. I spent so much time in here now. We'll stay tight. Okay, so yeah, that's it.
Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
Upstairs, okay.
to
We're
his
going towards
boss's
the red.
office.
Red means danger, but it's fine.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive
Oh,
economy,
God.
why
Bring
had
in a
he
loop.
taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh
Even
no,
doors
my
closed
feet!
automatically behind him wherever he went. And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
They are.
Were they simply repeating?
They are.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally
I'm pretty sure I'm
found an
awake,
answer,
so...
an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun. And
Oh, this
Stanley
is
marveled
cool.
that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head? Everything that I'm doing
True,
is
true. I
thinking?
didn't question that at
Now
all.
the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
I hope
the
not.
truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
No!
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream.
I can still
wish
hear
it to
Stanley
be over.
walking.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
We're still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Marianne. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Wow.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
And ran? Wow, okay. Here we go again.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Yeah. Left
When
door.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. No, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
All right, I'm done. Thank you.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom? Ugh. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Lovely. Okay, well, what about this door? That's an awful business strategy. They just whisper Stanley. It's apparently a slow lift. Oh, okay, we're going to be here for a while then, guys. What do you want to talk about while we're riding a lift together? Ignore the first bit. Oh. I mean, I don't remember being in a lift. Oh, you didn't go in the lift, you went to the office. How long did this take you to play through? Maybe press, I can't. Oh, I can. The illusion of choice. Oh, for God's sake, fine, I'll go to the office. Oh, I am the most expensive boss, are you now? Alright, boss's office time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley could, yet incredibly, by simply pressing the number buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Yeah, sheer luck.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh. Okay. Going to here now. Okay, I guess we don't go down the creepy lift. I mean, the non-creepy lift apparently didn't work. No lift music for this one, really? Ugh.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yep, this seems safe. I don't know what that means.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
You can see my jump scares when they happen now. Escape. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
That's fine with me. Better than mind control.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
You just fought your
At
death when you go
point,
this way.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Let's go. Whee! Better than mind control. That's all I'm saying.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Sounds about right.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end.
Why did you say that so casually?
Farewell, Stanley.
Okay, bye-bye game.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led
Huh?
helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
At least it was instant. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you
I found the
walk has been
credits!
created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
4 hour
making
stream.
life the same.
An hour and I found
Do
the
you see
credits.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay. So this is the office. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors that was the first part of the game was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout the development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Okay. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor had been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in good time. The 2 doors. The set of the two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. His desk. Filing cabinets. Stanley's computer. Can I? No. Nature paintings. Beautiful. So they're just the office. What's this one? Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and synthesized tone. These are the credits. Kevin Brighting is the narrator. 431 to 436. Maintenance room, an early version of the maintenance room. Okay, so that's without any of the extras of the office. Oh, look at all these pictures. Fun! Money everywhere. Warzone? Oh, this is a spoiler. Early in development, we decided an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realised shortly after starting the build that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Okay, so this isn't a spoiler. This wasn't added. Alright. Oh, here we go. Ultra Deluxe announcement. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement and the game's delay. The Lounge. An early version of the Lounge. Narrator emails. After the second trailer was sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Congratulations. In the line of person regard. Okay. Greetings, omnipotent voice. I want to tell you I like the Stanley Parable as much as I like seeing a humorously small badger in swim trunks. I can't read that fast. Okay. Oh. Delete if you're not interested. Okay. How do you type with boxing gloves on? Okay. What do lights in control room do I really want? Okay. More office. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the game, of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a time would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. I see. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we want it to look more like a place where cargo is actually stored. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. So much here. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realised this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. The Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as Ending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. These levers were originally part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what colour they had pulled. Okay, I can't pull them. Damn. trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice narrator informing viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Meeting room. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Okay. This is cool. I like this. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Ah, that's cool. They're all very similar, aren't they? Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from the mock-up is still in the game. That's cool. That's an exit. Countdown room, an early version of the countdown room. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could only go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the 2 endings together instead. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Ah. Freedom ending. First incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Okay, I have a feeling I'm going to get more spoilers, so maybe we go to the exit now.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Maybe I should have quit, but I didn't, so now we're here.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer.
The broom closet!
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover...
What is it, 2854 or something?
Any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings.
What's the code?
Desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, This keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
I was close.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley
that's so
happened to input
cool.
the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened.
So is this just going to lead me to the same place again? Oh, I can not do the escapes this time, can't I?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Yep.
Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life.
Fired.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images
Oh,
on a
well,
screen.
something's happened to that one over there.
One of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life
Where are we going?
in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that how? Microsoft awaiting input. System power. What if we press on?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
If I wanted to press
If
the
you want
on
to throw my
button.
story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
No.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind.
Way to go
What a
this
shame
way.
We have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then die.
Is there a code?
Other times,
One is
I let the
blue.
office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better.
2.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on
Thank
the
you.
clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Is there a
Or
code
did
there?
you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it on?
Oh.
I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
5 is
Why
green.
would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten?
4 is yellow.
1 solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
3 blue.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a
3 attempts
tragedy.
remaining.
You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna see if I don't know if I need to do it within the first 2 minutes, so I'm gonna try and get back to that ending and see if I
All
can
of
do
his
anything
coworkers
there.
were gone. Any man to... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to
Yeah,
just
sounds
let the
about right.
narrator talk. That kind of anxiety...
I know.
Relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, go, 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 go. Hello, I'm back. Ads are done, and I have a kitten. Hey, bye. Do you not want to say hello, sweetie? He doesn't want to say hello. Oh, thank
Here's the
you.
door, just go.
Thank you.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Why does it feel like there's
How
going to
had
be a
he been
twist
freed
still?
from the machine's
The
grasp?
sky!
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he
Nah, I wanna
realized
leave.
none of this mattered to him.
No, it didn't.
For it
Let
was
me
not
out!
knowledge or even power
Let me
that
out!
he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his
Trees!
goal had not been to understand, but to
Houses!
let go.
Electricity!
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do.
Mountains!
Whatever
Oh,
life
look at
he
that.
lives, it will be.
That is nice scenery to leave
That
to.
was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Well, it's not open yet. I can't do that. Wait.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
That's a really nice ending. I love how I just instantly went for the chaotic. Turn it back on. Complete the Stanley Parable. Get your first achievement. All right. Now we are
I can't
going
wait
to
tell
go
this
the wrong
story to
way.
my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I through everyone had gone missing?
No, we're going through new content door.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh, fine. No, I wanted to go to the right.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but
It's
I'm
got,
sure
like, a grassy
it's just
floor.
the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
It's not moving.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we...
This is actually my worst like nightmare. This is
Here we go.
awful.
All right,
Oh,
finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
let's do it. No music?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, is it behind me? I was having a drink, sorry. The
All right.
jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh. Well, on to the next.
Is that it?
Apparently so.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this
I
game
think
are
the
not
elevators are quite
positive.
good.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
I enjoyed
If
the
this is
jumping.
new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra
Oh God,
Deluxe.
please don't
Now
stop
with over
counting.
1,000 hours of new content. Oh wait,
Yeah, 1,000 hours of him just counting.
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar.
Yeah,
And
they
don't
really
get me
rushed
started
it
on the
9
level of
years.
craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What
Does it
quality
actually?
assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game? And we'll
Test
try to get
achievement,
back to what
please
the Stanley
ignore.
Parable is really about. No frills.
It's actually
no
an
dupes.
achievement. That's quite
Just
funny.
you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend? Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Oh, this is so
I
cute.
call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was?
They
before
just
was
stuck it
sullied
on.
with a cheap
The Last of Us, and they just
Remember
stuck
back in
Stanley
October
Parable on top.
2013, when the game originally launched. Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Is this their first dollar? Are these just all the same award repeated? Debut, oh no, debut game, story, and game innovation. Well, they're not awards, they're nominees, but yeah. Oh, wow, whoops. Can we sit on the bench together? No, okay. Oh! Oh no!
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new content.
An hour? What's down here? Memory zone maintenance? Okay, well, I tried. The original remake. Person of the Year. Is that Stanley by any chance?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need
Why didn't it
anything
get a 10
else.
out of 10
it
then?
didn't need new content. It just
Carpet
needed to be
textures.
left alone to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
The greatest wealth is memory.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no.
Steam
no.
reviews.
It's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh!
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this
Narrator
game to
is
full completion.
obnoxious
The
and
narrator is
unfunny.
obnoxious and unfunny, with his humour and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
Unfunny!
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I love how the Steam reviews have caution stickers on. Oh,
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
more
I feel
reviews.
like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Oh, no.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button?
You can add a skip button.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh, I wanted to go back. Oh, I didn't really... Oh. Is there stuff? I hope there wasn't anything interesting that way. Skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot.
Hi!
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what cooking knife... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Oops.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've
Uh-oh.
looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh
I
my
feel bad skipping
And
him.
it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself.
You are
I can't
rambling
stop
on a bit
myself
now,
from lashing
buddy.
out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative
I'm
comment.
so tempted to press the skip
What
button.
does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely
Does he
you'll
shut
press
up?
that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company.
You don't
for
need to guilt
companionship.
me.
Surely you'll
I already
not be
feel
moved by
bad.
my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, no, no. I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem?
It's
Why did Cookie
repeating.
Nine's opinion matter so much to me?
So you
I've
do
never
have
even
to
met
press it.
Cookie
Okay,
Nine.
well,
I have.
I listened to all the audio I could then.
You're back. You're back. Oh,
Oh.
my goodness.
The lights aren't
Someone
working.
to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A week and all the lights have gone.
I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button.
I've had enough.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us.
Uh-oh. I think I killed him. Well,
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was
Back?
meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said,
so eerie that it's just silent.
the end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Oh
is
God,
never
he's
the
gone
end,
mad.
is
He's
never
gone
the
mad.
end, Is never the end, is never the end, is.
Is there a leak in here or something? We could be free. We could be free. We could be free. Okay, okay, okay. Go! Now what? Guess press it again. Freedom! I guess we just keep walking. I'm not entirely sure what else I'm meant to do. Oh. The end is never the end is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content?
Good.
Oh,
You noticed my
really?
sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Let's go.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
They're back 2 doors.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be
Money?
clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to
427?
be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Okay.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work
New
itself out.
features?
Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
I'm ready to see these new features.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course,
Too big,
first and
too
most
small,
obvious
just
answer
right.
is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing
Does
the
it actually
game.
though?
Isn't that wonderful?
They just say Stanley or something. Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
We're Jim,
I
guys.
want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do
Whoa!
you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim
Yep,
right now?
we're Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Would
Let's
it?
take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim,
Whoa there,
Jim,
cowboy. Sometimes
Jim,
a person can be too
Jim,
much Jim.
Jim,
I'm putting
Jim,
the Jim button
Jim,
away.
Jim,
Otherwise,
Jim.
soon you'll start to lose all sense of freedom.
No!
Jim.
The Jim button! Oh, that's disappointing. Alright, what other new features have you got in store for us then, buddy? Enjoy
I
the new
suppose I could
features.
allow only
You
people
heard
named
Jim in the
Jim to play
game.
the Stanley
The
Parable
button
2.
that says
would
Jim.
actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
That's Jim, yep. Button that says name the players playing the game, jump circle, infinite hole. Wait, why is this just... Why? Was that... Okay, that's the game. I wasn't sure if my cat had bitten through my headphone cable or something. No, he is this way. This way. He is fast asleep. Look at that guy. Cutie. Anyway. 3. New and easy achievement. Yes, please. Get it here. I want the achievement. Free achievement. Get it right now. Pull the lever. Receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Collectibles? Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarked...
We got one of 6.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
You are here. Thank you. Jump circle, map, free achievement, button that says the game and then in player, merch, settings world champion, reassurance bucket. I want the bucket. Infinite hole, epilogue, office directions. All right, let's just wander. Let's go to the infinite hole. What is that? Please no screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons.
What is the
But I'm
screenshot button
undecided
for
on
Steam?
whether, well, someday and happy 12th birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Much. I saw the new content. Switch bucket. Office decorations. Oh, this is the office decorations, what I've just been through. I don't want the exit. Oh, the infinite hole, we kind of just skimmed past it, didn't we? Okay, let's go down this way.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever.
Forever?
Infinite falling.
Forever and ever and ever?
End of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Whee!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I want the bucket. Why is this in the music? Was there music before? Okay, where do I get my bucket? Buttons. Reassurance bucket. Let's go this way.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
I wanted a bucket!
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see,
God,
Stanley,
look at it come in.
anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
Sounds about right.
It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
The bucket!
It's a much more
I do know a bit about the bucket. That's pretty much all I know about the game, the bucket.
Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes.
And the adventure line, obviously.
Solution. Come on, give it a try.
The bucket! That scared
Can you
me!
feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of
Just pick it
charisma as
up.
well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Do we get to keep the bucket then? Ah, yes.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket?
Where's
in
the
a video
exit
game?
then?
That really should be
Can
an
we leave
award
with the
if it isn't
bucket?
already.
Was the exit this way? The exit is this way. We're off. Me and the bucket. Best friends.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yeah.
Ready to move on now?
Yep, as long as I have the bucket with me, I'm ready to go anywhere. New mug! Yes. No screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
I mean, there's potential here, right?
That noise!
Sort of. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley?
Yikes.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
We're gonna go back to the
With
office?
respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title
Tremendous
screen.
title
A
screen.
title
Oh, no.
screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2.
Is that, it's literally just gonna say this is the
Let me see
Stanley
if I can
Parable
whip
2, is
something
it?
up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2? Why are you making it seem like a horror game? They just keep going around in circles. Oh, that's trippy with the floor. Yeah, back rooms. Is this literally all there is? I'm a very patient person. I can sit here for a while. But I also kind of want to play whatever this is meant to be. We're just going to begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Is it?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the
Yeah, someone was
company
talking to
had
him.
this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Little Easter eggs sprinkled throughout.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Ah, bucket! We're off.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the
We'll do
door
as it says. We have the bucket with us.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
It's unlocked again. Let's
The broom
go.
closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
Why can't we all have the
I can
bucket?
feel it now.
Why don't we just
It's a
hang out in
bucket.
here?
It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion.
Can I drop
and
the
lifelong
bucket?
friend. You can't
No.
hand it over. Oh, no.
Why can't we all be in
Getting
a broom
name
closet
calling,
together?
it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
Probably
Well, I
true, to be
never-
honest.
Good, Mr. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Well, the broom closet's
Expand
not
on the wide
wrong.
variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Bye-bye, broom closet. See you later.
Okay, I've got you something which, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to
Wait,
the
what?
boss's
What was he gonna
office.
say? I cut him off.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was
Yeah.
the bucket guiding him?
Yes, the bucket is guiding me.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Freedom with the bucket! I want to do freedom with the bucket.
The elevator raced downward.
Go, go, go,
plummeting
go, go,
towards
go,
an
go!
unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Yes, everything will be fine. Me and the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
Nah,
Mind
the escape
Control
causes death,
Facility.
so.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I'm trying to have a drink.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this. And it
The
very
bucket nearly
burst
burst into tears.
Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Yes, the
Had
bucket is being
been told
mind
to do
controlled.
things it didn't wish to do. What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
I don't know. What does a bucket want to do?
Raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point,
Me and the
he could
bucket are
trust
escaping
no one
together.
except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this... Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy.
Let's
Freed
go!
themselves
Freedom
from
for me and the
tyrannical
bucket!
grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Ellen wanted to learn to
Stanley
roller
wanted to
skate?
sneeze in every country on earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through
Oh,
and begin
what?
watching it in reverse from the end.
What?
True, it was
Why?
a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
No.
What? Wait.
No.
What was happening?
No.
Why had the
Let us
door
out.
stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
No.
An unbearable silence filled the room.
Excuse
lingering in
me.
uncertainty. Until finally
Open
the truth hit
sesame.
Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Oh, for God's sake.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
No, bucket.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
Yeah, at
To
least
be
it's the
trapped
bucket.
in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Excuse me, find out what? Ugh, okay. Now we're gonna go the wrong way
All
with
of
the
his
bucket.
coworkers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to
No,
the meeting room.
bucket!
Stanley
There you
lifted
go.
the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley
There's it.
touched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Of course.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Of course, why would you go against the bucket?
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Dark room? This isn't a dark room. Oh, you mean this one over here? Alright.
Now pick up the phone,
Said,
Alright, Bucket, doing as you say.
this is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Hello, Stanley, it's me, your Bucket. Press X to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship.
Bucket!
It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press N to take me back home with you. Okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Proceed.
Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. I won't listen to the loud man.
You see, he's not listening.
Oh, there it
He's
is.
still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he
No, it
listened
wasn't.
to.
I
Now
never
all
took
he
orders
cares
from you.
about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Wait, what?
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Of course.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier.
Jazz
more
music.
capable of transporting liquid.
As a
Like it would be
bucket!
better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press F to read the same doing over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally
Oh, it's
just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home. Press B to go home, to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing.
No,
Yes.
it's my
The
bucket.
bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome
No!
situation. Stanley, give me the bucket.
No!
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
My bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away.
You got
as
the bucket
Stanley
back,
embraced
guys.
the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
I like the bucket.
I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to driving hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Oh no, that seems so cruel.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Does it destroy buckets by any chance?
Spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Alright, goodbye, bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that
I can't actually give it the bucket anyway, so...
what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Now do we just follow the
Stanley decided to go
correct
to the meeting
road with the
room.
bucket?
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here.
I feel like I've already done this with the bucket.
Now more than ever.
I've already
Perhaps
done
his
this with the
boss's
bucket.
office was where he'd find answers.
Okay, we'll go
Coming to
down.
the staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
I
His
forgot
boss
this
would
one was
think he
just circles.
crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe...
Maybe I am crazy.
I am crazy.
Maybe.
He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh no! This bit
Mariella woke
again!
up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted
She
by
has
the
a
body of a man
bucket.
who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
He didn't have a
This
bucket.
man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad.
The real bucket are the ones we meet along the way, of course, of
All
course.
his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps
Should
he
have
didn't
taken
even
his
realize
bucket.
He'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first
Idiot.
place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought. And she hugged
This
her
is why you
own
always carry a
and
bucket
went
with you.
But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would still
Does this
have to
count as a
confront.
bucket? I have a mini bucket with a
would
dying
provide
plan in.
absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
She backflipped all the way to work. Yeah, that. Sure. Because you need to have some food soon. We can just sit like this for another hour, to be honest. I would like to see your reaction to turning on the machine with the bucket. Okay. I'll do that in a second. Do you want to say hello, buddy? Oh. You can't even see his eyes. It's just a void. It's just a little void. Do you want to sit on my lap for a bit? No, you don't. Do you want to be my bucket? No, he wants to go off on his own. Okay, let's do that then.
The
You
bucket knew
cheeky
all along.
monkey.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes.
We're gonna finish
this
this
is
game
certainly a most
together.
logical explanation.
Okay, well, this is a bit awkward now. Okay, sit on the desk. Go on, sit on the desk, buddy. You can join me. Look, my emotional support bucket, alright? I don't know. Can I tell her? you can see the top of his ears. He's a bit short. He's ducked down now. You can't see him. I'm sorry. Oh. Do you want a cuddle? All he wants is he just wants cuddles. That's what he lives for. He's such a strange cat. I've never met a cat like him before. Okay, I can give you a cuddle in about 10-20 minutes, alright?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead.
Let's just get this ending, yeah? Yeah?
Mind control facility. This machine. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
The bucket
Stanley
pressed it?
gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
I like this bird. What about this bird? What about this bird?
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on
Sev,
him.
you love this?
This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
Look!
It was a facility for monitoring.
He's watching me. He does not care about the birds. No, not ads now.
The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal
Wait,
genius
flamingos?
in his
I saw flamingos.
The one who had pointed him
Look at
towards this
them!
incredible discovery.
It was your cat's planning. It was.
Because
He
they
knew
spent the
what
rest
was
of
going to
their
happen.
lives
He's
here
come
in
back.
this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Birds.
Of all the possible paths
I don't even
his
think
life
he's seen a
could
bird
take,
in real life
this
before. He's only been
was surely the
been going
best.
outside for a few days.
And Stanley was happy.
And his sisters haven't brought in a bird while he's been here, so ow, oh god, ow, he's off. He's like, Mum, stop embarrassing me. I'm gonna embarrass you, you're my baby. That's what parents are meant to do. They're meant to embarrass their children. He's like, shut up, just stop talking. Do you want to say goodbye to the stream? I like that. Was a funny ending. Okay.